Welcome guys to another video. Today on the channel I'm going to be doing a commentary video. What are we going to be talking about? Well, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Invincible. I know I'm late to the topic. I know that Invincible has ended. So season 4 of Invincible has already ended for like 2 weeks or so. I don't know. I don't remember how long it's been, but I remember watching it. I remember like being jaw dropped by all the amazing episodes. The hype is insane for season 4, and I can't wait for season 5. But I just wanted to quickly talk about my thoughts about this Invincible. I feel like this video is gonna be all over the place. I feel like we're gonna be talking about just literally everything. Um, from conquest fight, certain invincible, like, oh, I've seen on Instagram like invincible lighting, like some fans basically improved the lighting by adding shaders, like by reshading invincible, and especially the space shots where there is like a speck of blue that's in space. I'm not describing this I'm not describing this very well, but basically there's a blue shade and shadows in space because of the Viltrumite ship, and that feels really. And when I saw that image, goddamn, that was beautiful. If only that was animated in the show, that would have been insane. But there's also another insane thing that I came across on Instagram. It's the fact that there's only 4 animators on the show, 4 animators, and they have to do like hours of basically 8 hours of animation that they had to do. No wonder the animation sometimes looks so cheap. It's because there's only 4 animators on set doing all of this, and they've got like all the writers crew, all the voice actors. There's more voice actors, there's more celebrities on the show than animators. Think about that. You can literally hire an animator like fucking, like, you can literally hire like maybe 4 to 5 more animators by firing one of these celebrity voice actors. But I don't know who manages the financial decisions of Invincible's production, but they're doing a really bad job, because you could literally just fire one of the just choose an actual voice actor instead of one of the like, for example, Powerplex. You don't have to get the fucking Breaking Bad cast onto. You don't have to get the guy for Jesse Pinkman. I forgot his name. I knew his name, but it's been a long time. I don't remember his name. But the actor for Jesse Pinkman, he's a huge celebrity, right? You got him to voice Powerplex. He did an amazing job, right? Because I like his style, I like his voice. But the thing is, you could have used literally anyone else for this side character, dude. Powerplex is not that important in the show. He shows up for what, 2 episodes? Or let me guess, 1 episode, right? He's the main character for 1 episode, and you had to get a freaking side character. I mean, you had to get a freaking celebrity for a side character. So you could have just gotten any other voice actor for this character, and then hired like what, 2 more animators on the show, and made the animation, probably you could have made it probably exponentially better. I don't know. I feel like if I was managing the financials of the show, I could make the show look way better by simply switching up the voice actors, right? But enough about the disadvantages. No, what's the word? The bad stuff about. I'm sorry, I'm not a very vocabulary person. Vocabularily. Okay, whatever. What am I doing, bro? I'm screwing up this commentary video as we speak. But anyways, I want to talk about the grandness of season 4. Basically, it started getting good at episode 4, which is the episode where they had the second conquest fight. Holy shit, that whole battle was insane. I really don't like the power scaling they did. They really nerfed Omni-Man. Omni-Man had so much aura in season 1, but in season 4 it just seems like he just seems weak, you know? Like, when he fights the other Viltrumites, he's supposed to be the great Nolan, right? The amount of respect that the other Viltrumites had for Nolan, it really paints the picture that Nolan is supposed to be this great warrior that's stronger than all the other Viltrumites, but then you have like Anissa in episode 7 beating Nolan up like nothing. Anissa is supposed to be weaker than Nolan. She's faster than Nolan, but she's supposed to be weaker than Nolan. And Nolan's getting destroyed by Anissa for some reason. And then we have Mark destroying Anissa sometimes, and then Anissa beating up Mark at the same time. So I don't know what's going on with the power scaling here. They seem to be toe to toe with each other. Anissa, Nolan, and Mark. They seem to all be the same power level. But in my here's what I think about it. So Conquest is supposed to be the second strongest Viltrumite, right? Obviously, Thrag is the strongest Viltrumite. He is levels above all the other Viltrumites. He could wipe out every single Viltrumite, including Nolan and Mark and Thetis, which he actually killed. He could. Okay, I forgot to. I mean, it's been a while since the show already aired. I don't have to put up a spoiler alert, right? Plus, this is supposed to be a video about Invincible, my thoughts on Invincible season 4, so I don't have to talk about like any spoiler alerts or anything like that. But basically, what was I talking about? Thrag is like levels above. I feel like he can out the entire uh race of Viltrumites if he wanted to. Like even at the Great Purge, like I feel like Thrag has enough stamina. Like no doubt about his strength and speed. He's obviously able to kill any Viltrumite he wants. But the problem is about his stamina. Is he able to destroy his entire race before the Purge? Like if he joined in the Purge, I feel like he could have wiped out every single Viltrumite on Viltrum. So that's kind of insane to think about. Like if Thrag is just on another level, I feel, in my opinion, he could probably wipe out the entire race with no difficulty. But anyways, what the point I wanted to make was Conquest is basically the second strongest Viltrumite, and I know Conquest was being cocky. He could have he could have done the slicing thing to Mark way earlier on, and he would have won. He would have killed Mark if he'd done that earlier, but he did that a tad bit too late and caused his own death. But Mark was able to kill Conquest, and Nolan obviously. I feel like if Nolan went all out on Conquest, he wouldn't have the grit, he wouldn't have the determination, the willpower to be able to kill Conquest like that. And Conquest would like. I know that Conquest respects Nolan as a Viltrumite, so he probably wouldn't give Nolan that much of a chance to really strangle him or whatever. So Nolan would obviously not be able to beat Conquest, but Mark did. Mark killed Conquest, and that makes. I'm not saying that that makes Mark stronger than Nolan, but what I'm saying is Mark is obviously on the level of Nolan because with Nolan's strength, someone like Nolan could theoretically kill Conquest, and as we saw, Mark killed Conquest because of Conquest cockiness. But my point is that right now, so at season 2, Anissa was able to body Mark with no difficulty, speed blitzing him, and like stepping on him like basically like nothing, right? So Mark was able to grow from that to now basically Anissa's and Nolan's power level, but the establishment was that Nolan is supposed to be stronger than Anissa, but in the show, in episode 7, he's basically as equal. He's basically equal with Mark and Nissa. So Mark, Nissa, and Nolan are basically on equal power levels, which I don't really like. My ranking would be Nolan on the top, Mark on the second, and then Anissa at the bottom. So I like to believe that Anissa has actually grown. I mean, Mark has actually grown to be stronger than Anissa. So like because Mark has been through so much, right? I honestly believe that Mark has grown stronger than Anissa, but not as strong as Omni-Man yet. Because I know that in later in the comics they do like an arm wrestling match, and they were pretty even, I think. And then at that point, I feel like I think that Mark actually beat Omni-Man in that arm wrestling match, but they were pretty like evenly matched, right? But that implies that before that Mark wasn't really the author wasn't really sure whether or not Mark was supposed to be stronger than Nolan. But at this point of the show, I feel like the feats of Mark is definitely like he was able to do much more than Nolan. And there's gonna be the argument that, oh, Nolan was able to punch Thrag away, while when Mark punched Thrag didn't move at all. But the thing is, like, Thrag wasn't like Thrag was caught off guard. He wasn't hurt by Nolan, but he was caught off guard and knocked away. But with Mark, he was taking that head on. He was ready for that hit, and so that's why Mark's hit they were ineffective. But think about it, like Mark was able to, like, when okay, I'm thinking about a scene right now. So Thrag is like basically beating up Omni-Man, and then Mark comes in and pushes Thrag away. So why don't people account for that, right? Mark could have punched him, but instead he pushed Thrag away, and now Thrag is flying away. But he elbows and punches Mark away. But that means Mark can do the same effect of pushing Thrag away that Nolan does. So they're pretty even at this point. And I feel like Thrag was able to body both Mark and Nolan pretty evenly. Like Nolan was he was destroyed by that uppercut, right? And for Mark, he was like, I don't know, man. Thrag was basically doing Ultra Instinct on Mark when he was fighting, and then like he just threw one punch, and then and then Mark was like ears ringing and vision blurring. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about, but that was crazy, man. And I don't know. Personally, I'm a Dragon Ball fan. That's why I love power scaling. I, even though Dragon Ball is awful at power scaling, but I just love to have I love to have like an idea of how strong these characters are in my head. So that's why I keep analyzing like how strong these characters are. So, but the thing is, okay, this commentary video is supposed to be about. I'm sorry if it's all over the place. There's no script or anything for these kinds of videos. I'm kind of just yapping in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, and trying to, like, get everything out at the same time, which is not going to be very organized. But bear with me. So I'm gonna jump back to like the conquest fight. That was a really high tension fight. Like you could feel the tension by the music, by the like the timer. Like, okay, we need Mark to like hold on for just a bit longer, just fucking die, just Conquest, just fucking die, man. And then Conquest like stabs through Mark's abdomen, and then the music stops, and then now it's just the blood sounds, the smooshing. Oh my god, that was brutal, man. I'm pretty sure some people felt like puking watching that. But hey, I have a suggestion for that scene. So I'm somewhat of a filmmaker enthusiast myself. I was thinking, because it's the intestines, he's literally pulling out the intestines of Mark, and I feel like it would be more realistic if Mark made gagging sounds while his intestines were being moved around and pulled out. Cause like think about it, when you okay, it's not the intestines, probably the stomach, but when you're pulling out the intestines, you're probably scraping on the stomach, right? And when the stomach is being moved around like that, when it's being irritated like that, it's gonna cause you to feel nauseous, like of course nauseous, but the main point is like you're gonna feel like you're gonna feel like you want to puke, right? So I feel like if, like, combined with him puking blood, spitting blood out, I feel like if he made some gagging sounds like like something like that, if he did those sounds, it would sound way more brutal in the scene. But I feel like they came up with the idea. They probably thought of the idea, or maybe it didn't come across their mind at all. But if they did, they probably thought like it was way too brutal if they did that. So they're gonna take a step back. Otherwise, it would be like, I don't know. It would be rated for, I don't know, it's gonna be way too messed up to show it to the audience. So I don't know, man. It's just a suggestion I have. Like for the first time I watched it, I felt like, dude, if he started gagging and puking, that would have been way more disgusting than just him moaning in pain. So yeah, and another like part I really love about um the season 4 is Oliver's and Omni Man's their bonding scenes, like when they were bonding and they were smiling at each other, having deep chats. I wish we had more chats like that, like the part where Oliver was kind of like, hey, like I had this crush on a lobster, and then Omni Man was like, oh, I like he realized like, oh, I know what you're feeling. Like if he was able to teach Oliver like, oh, this is what you're feeling right now, like be more fatherly, I feel like that would have been way more cooler. And at the same time I wanted to see more like some, because we weren't shown Andressa that much. Like Andressa wasn't on screen for that much. So if Omni Man was able to talk a bit more about Andressa's stories like that to Oliver, I feel like that would have enhanced the bonding scenes, and it would have made the emotion feel that much more impactful. And so like I really loved the episode. I'm pretty sure it's episode 5 when they're recovering, and then the Telestria fight was also really great. Um, I love Thetis. Thetis was really strong in that. He was like destroying Krieg. Like I love the scene where Krieg was like, "Where is the great betrayer?" And then Thetis is like, "Here." It sounded so much like Optimus Prime, man. I love, like, it brings me back to Transformers because like obviously Peter Cullen is voicing, um, he's voicing Thetis, and yeah, the way when he deepens his voice, he sounds so much more like Optimus Prime, and I love it. And then I guess that's all. I really love the last episode as well. Oh yeah, and the chat between Debbie and Omni Man. I know there's like two to three chats, but my favorite one is the first one where Omni Man was so desperately trying to get Debbie back, and Omni Man is so like emotionally unintelligent that, or actually emotionally insensitive, that he says stuff like "I don't love Andressa" or like something like that. And I love those scenes where Omni Man is just, he's just being hit again and again with like hard shots by Debbie, by Art, like, and he just has to take it because it's the consequence of him doing his atrocities on Earth. And yeah, man, I love the scenes between Debbie and Omni Man. I feel like there's some sort of redemption building up, although it's gonna be very slow, and he's probably never gonna gain a full redemption before he dies. I'm pretty sure he's gonna die and he doesn't fulfill that redemption arc. Maybe the show is gonna change it up a bit, but I don't know. If the show actually does make him redeem himself, I feel like that would have that would be way better than the comics, because in the show he's being treated as if no one's gonna forgive him, and to go from that to complete forgiveness is gonna be a long journey. And if the show is gonna be able to pull that off, I feel like that's gonna be really cool, really impactful. And yeah, I just love this show, man. And we have to wait another year, and I'm pretty sure the next season is mostly going to be about Dinosaurus and Robot, which is, I mean, like, I don't mind, but the thing is, after that season, we're gonna have to wait a long time for season 6 until we get to the Viltrumites, um, Nolan being the hair. I feel like that's the exciting stuff, but like I feel like the season 5 is gonna be mostly filler. I know I'm not supposed to like insult it like that. Like season 5 is not completely filler, but I feel like it's just not about the Viltrumites, and it's not gonna be as exciting. The weight of everything is not gonna be that. It's not gonna feel that like impactful. You're not gonna feel like the lives are online. The Scourge virus as well. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be in season. Pretty sure that's gonna be in season 6, unless I'm wrong. Maybe the Scourge virus, like Alan bringing the Scourge virus to Earth. I feel like that's gonna be in season 5. But if that happens, like that's gonna be so hype, man. I'm really excited for season 5 and 6 and every season actually afterwards. So yeah, that's all I have to say for Invincible. Hopefully we get to have this season come along as soon as possible. Hopefully they hire some more animators actually, and um, yeah, because like if they have more animators that can speed up the process of animating and have actually better animation, and so yeah, I just can't wait for the next seasons, man. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hopefully you guys agree with me. Hopefully you guys can discuss a bit more in the comments. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.